conductors. Next we have resistors. What are resistors? A resistor is an electrical component that limit or regulate the electric current. It is also one of the electric component that limit or regulate the electric current. Okay, by the resistor with the help of resistor, we can regulate the electric current flowing through the circuit. Example: fan, television, etc. Now we have two types of combination over there: resistor in series and resistors in parallel. First of all, we'll read about resistor in series combination. So what is resistor in series combination? Suppose when R1, R2, R3, suppose these are the resistors R1, R2, R3, they will be connected in a single line, and then that is called a series combination. Okay, when two or more resistors are connected end to end, then arrangement is called series combination. You can see the resistor R1, R2, R3. They are connected with each other's point. Suppose this is one of the point of this one, it is connected to this one, this point is connected to that point. They are connected end to end. So this type of combination is called series combination. Okay. So when two or more resistors are connected end to end, the arrangement is called series combination. In this you can see voltmeter is connected in parallel with the resistors and ammeter is connected in series with the resistor. We have read that voltmeter will always be connected in parallel and ammeter will be connected in series. And the direction of current also you can see from here. The current is flowing from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. Okay. So like this, if in the exam it will be asked, draw a circuit diagram representing series combination with ammeter and voltmeter, then you have to draw this type of diagram. Okay. Next, total resistance in series. What will be the total resistance? Suppose we have three resistance R1, R2 and R3. So we want to calculate the total resistance. In series combination, how we will calculate? We have to add the values of all the resistance R1, R2 and R3. Suppose this is 5, this is 5 and this is 5. So altogether we have 15. Okay. In series combination, this is one of the formula which you have to remember. Rs equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. In series combination, the current through each resistor is same. Okay, in series combination, what will happen? The current flowing through all the resistance will be same. Suppose the current I is flowing through this. So this current will be same in R1 also, R2 also and R3 also. The same current will flow through all the resistors. The potential difference V is equals to sum of potential difference. But now we have for all the resistance we have different types of potential difference. For R1 V1 will be the potential difference, for R2 V2 will be the potential difference, and for R3 V3 will be the potential difference. So total potential difference will be V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now we have read about Ohm's law. V is equals to IR. If we will replace V with IR, we can write IR over there. In place of IR we will write IR1, IR2 and IR3. I we will take common. This side also I is there. I will cancel out. R is equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. This formula we have got R is equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So you have to remember that in series combination all the resistors will be connected end to end. Okay, and the formula will be R1 plus R2 plus R3. Next, now we'll read about the parallel combination, resistors in parallel, how they are connected in parallel combination. Reciprocal of equivalent resistance is equal to sum of reciprocal of individual resistance. Reciprocal means 1 by R. So suppose this is the reciprocal 1 by 2. This is reciprocal of 2. So 1 by RP. P I have written for parallel is equals to 1 by R1 1 by plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So reciprocal of equivalent resistance, this is the reciprocal of equivalent resistance, is equal to sum of reciprocal of individual resistance. Sum means 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So this is your parallel combination. Equivalent resistance is less than the value of the smallest individual resistance in the combination. It will be, suppose RP. So it is reciprocal, then its value will be less than that of the individual resistance also. Voltage across each resistor is same and equal to the applied voltage. In this case, in all the resistors the voltage will be same, but current will be different in all the cases. For R1 current will be I1, and for I2 the current will be R2 the current will be I2, and for R3 current will be I3. For example, I is equals to I1, I2 and I3. V by R, we can write I with the formula V by R, V by R1, V by R2 and V by R3. How we can represent this parallel combination diagram? I will draw this one. Suppose this is your one of the resistance. Suppose this is second resistance, and this one is your third resistance. This is your R1, this is R2 and this is your R3. Suppose this current flowing through it is I. So it will divide in the three groups, R1, I1, I2 and I3. The current will be divided in all the three resistors, but voltage will be same because only one voltmeter will be there over there and its voltage will be same in all the cases. So in series combination, what we have read, that current will be same in all the resistors but voltage will be different. Just opposite over there we have to write that current will be different for all the resistors but voltage will be same over there. Now, there are some of the advantages of parallel combination over series combination that we should read. What are the advantages of parallel combination over series combination? In series circuit, when one component fails, the circuit is broken and none of the component works. What happens in series combination? If one of the component will fail, the circuit will be broken and all the components will not work, because in series combination what we have read, that all the resistors or all the appliances will be connected end to end. So, suppose this one will fail, then what will happen? The circuit will be broken down and the other components will also not work. So this is one of the disadvantage of series combination. Next one, different appliances have different requirements of current. This cannot be satisfied in series as current remains the same. For example, in our house we have fan also, bulb also, television also, and ACs also, microwave also. All the equipments or all the appliances have different requirements of current, right? If we will connect all the appliances in series, then what will happen? The same current will flow through them. So by this way, our need cannot be satisfied. This cannot be satisfied in series combination because all the appliances needs different amount of current. That can be possible only through parallel combination. In series combination, that is not possible at all. Third point, what we have, the parallel circuit divide the current through the appliances. Each appliances get proper current depending on its resistance. In parallel combination, we have read that the current will divide in among all the appliances. So in parallel combination, we can get the required amount of current on depending on the different appliances. So in parallel circuit, what will happen? The current will be divided through all the appliances. Each appliances will get the required amount of current. Next, in parallel combination, it is very easy to connect or disconnect a new appliance without affecting the working on the other appliance. Suppose we want to connect or disconnect a new appliance, then we can easily do that without affecting the other appliances. So these are the advantages of parallel combination over series combination. This topic is also very important, so you should learn all the 4 points from there. Okay. Next, we have heating effect of electric current. What is heating effect of electric current? If an electric circuit is purely resistive, the source of energy continually gets dissipated entirely in the form of heat. This is known as heating effect of electric current. So this is the statement for heating effect of electric current. You should remember the statement. If an electric circuit is purely resistive, suppose one electric circuit is there that is purely resistive, the source of energy continually gets dissipated entirely in the form of heat. So the energy which we are providing in the circuit is continuously coming out in the form of heat. So this is called heating effect of electric current. E, we can write energy is equals to power into time, right? E is for energy, is equals to P into T. P we can write as VI. P is power equals to V into I into T. Heat produced, heat is also in the form of energy. Heat is also a form of energy. We can write in place of E as H. H equals to VIT. We can replace P with E with H, and we can write this formula H V equals to IT. We know that V is equals to IR. Again, we'll replace this V with IR, then we can write H equals to I square RT. This is the formula for heating effect of electric current. H is equals to I square into RT. Now, we'll read about Joule's law of heating. This is very important topic, okay? Joule's law of heating. It states that heat produced in a resistor is, this H, okay? It states that heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of current for a given resistance. Just now I have told you H is equals to I square into RT. This is our formula. So heat produced in a conductor will be directly proportional to the square of the current. Right. Second point, what is there? Directly proportional. Heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to resistance. This resistance. Okay. And last one, heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the time for which current flows through the resistors. So H is equals to I square RT. So this is known as Joule's law of heating. If you don't remember these sentences, then only you should write the 3 points. Heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to square of the current. Heat produced in a conductor is directly proportional to resistance, and heat produced in a corrector in a resistor is directly proportional to the time. Okay, so this is known as Joule's law of heating. Now, practical application of heating effect of electric current. Now we'll discuss some of the practical application of heating effect of electric current. Heating effect is desirable in devices like electric iron, electric heater, electric oven and electric fan. Means this heating effect of electric current can be used in devices like electric iron, electric heater, electric oven and electric fan. Sometimes this question is also asked, name some devices in which heating effect of electric current is used or can be used. So you have to write electric iron, electric heater, electric oven or electric fan. Any two or three you can remember. It cannot be used undesirable in which of the devices like computer, television and refrigerators. These devices we cannot use the heating effect of electric current. Now, if we will talk about the electric bulb, electric heating is used to produce light. In bulb, heating effect is used for producing light because bulb give us light. Tungsten, whose melting point is 3380 degrees Celsius, is used for making filament of the bulb. In this chapter, I have told you that the filament of the bulb is made from a metal called tungsten, whose melting point is very high. Okay, because of this only it is used for making the filament of the bulb. And one more point is that it does not oxidize or burn at high temperature. So why tungsten is used for making the filament of the bulbs? For 2 points you can write. First of all, its melting point is very high, that is 3380 degrees Celsius. And second one, it does not burn or oxidize at high temperature. Now, some of the inactive gases like nitrogen and argon are used to fill the bulbs to prolong the life of the filament. Means to increase the life of the filament, these gases, nitrogen and argon, are used to fill the bulb. These gases are very unreactive gases. They will not react with the filament of the bulb. So, these gases are used to increase the life of the filament. Most of the power consumption by the filament appears as heat, but a small part of it is in the form of light radiated. Okay, most of the power which will be used by the filament is in the form of heat. Generally, heat will be produced, but small part of it will in the form of light. That light we are getting from the bulb. Our next topic is electric fuse and electric power. These are the last topic of this chapter. Electric fuse. So what is electric fuse? Generally in our house we have electric fuse. It is a safety device. We all know that it is a safety device. So electric fuse is a safety device that protects our electrical appliances in case of short circuit or overloading. So you should remember the definition of electric fuse. It is a safety device that protects our electrical appliances like refrigerators, ACs, microwaves, television in case short circuit or overloading will occur that time. Okay, fuse is made up of pure tin alloy of copper and tin. So, which are the metals by which fuse is made? It can be made of pure tin or alloy of copper and tin. Fuse is always connected in series with the live wires. Okay, it will be connected in series with the live wires, and fuse has low melting point. Why fuse has low melting point? Suppose if overloading or short circuit will occur, then what will happen? The fuse will melt and break, and the power will be cut off, so that our appliances will be protected. Current capacity of fuse is slightly higher than that of the appliances, so it can carry more current than our appliances. So this was all about our fuse. Next is our electric power, and the symbol of electric power is capital P. So what is power? It is the rate at which electric energy is consumed or dissipated in electric circuit is called electric power. Okay, the rate at which electric energy is consumed or dissipated, it's taken or given out in the form of in an electric circuit is called electric power. Okay, electric power is also known as rate of doing work, right? That is also one of the definition of electric power. P is equals to VI. This is very important formula for power. P is equals to VI, voltage into current. We can also write, as we know from Ohm's law, V is equals to IR, right? So we can replace this V with IR. Then what we will get? I square R. And again, if you will I square into R, and one more formula you can write as V square by R. These are the formulas which you have to remember for electric power. And what is the SI unit of power? It is watt. W-A-T-T, capital W. With capital W we used to represent this. It is the power. And what is the definition of watt? It is the power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current when operated at a potential difference of 1 volt. So what is the definition of watt? It is the power consumed by a device that will carry 1 ampere of current when operated at a potential difference of 1 volt. From this relation you can write the definition. 1 watt is equal to, it will be the power when a device will carry a 1 ampere of charge at a potential difference of 1 volt. Thus we can write 1 watt is equals to 1 volt into 1 ampere, 1 volt ampere. And what are the commercial unit of electrical energy? Kilowatt hour, kWh, kilowatt hour, or it is also commonly called as unit. When your electricity bill comes in that, you can see they used to write unit. So that is the commercial unit of electrical energy, also known as kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour equals to 1000 watt. And in 1 hour, how many seconds are there? 3600 seconds. We'll multiply 1000 with 3600 seconds. We'll get 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 watt second, and which is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. So 1 kilowatt hour equals to 1 unit of electric energy. So you should remember this relation also. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. So this was all about this chapter. Now we will have a look on the important formulas of this chapter which we have read in this chapter. The first formula was of current. Electric current I is equals to Q by T, charge by time. Potential difference V is equals to work done divided by charge Q. V, this is from Ohm's law. Potential difference V is equals to I into R. Current into resistance. Then resistance equals to rho L by A. Rho is our resistivity, L is the length of the wire, and area of cross section. For series combination, total resistance will be R1 plus R2 plus R3, and this will be greater than this one because the sum total will be greater than this. 1 by Rp, this is for parallel combination. Reciprocal of this resistance is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Next we have read about heat generated. H is equals to VIT, and the formula for heating effect of electric current we have read is equals to H equals to I square into RT. Current, resistance, time. Power we have read E by T, rate of doing work or energy. Okay, then P is equals to VI. We have read about this formula. P is equals to VI. So we can replace V with I square into R, and again we can write this one also. P is equals to V square by R. So this was all about the formulas. For numericals, I will make a separate video so that we can use these formulas for solving the numericals, and then you can understand how we will do the numericals. I hope you will have understood.